Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Exvius Updates, the show that brings you all of the hottest information for your favorite application, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Global, available to you guys on iOS, Android, as well as Amazon devices. I am your host Shaly, and we're here with our special guest.
Hi, I'm Hiroki. I'm producer of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Global.
Yes, and today I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell, but we have so much information to cover today.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why do we have so much information?
So we will collaborate with the famous Japanese anime.
Yes.
Yeah.
So FFBE Global is finally getting its first anime collaboration.
Yay.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh my god. Okay. And I think you guys may be able to guess which one it is, but could you tell us, just let us know?
FULLMETAL ALCHEMIST!
Yay! I hope I didn't kill your ears just now screaming. I'm sorry.
This anime is also my favorite anime.
Really?
Yeah.
I love FULLMETAL ALCHEMIST. It's great.
So which character will be in FFB?
We don't know. We have to stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, Alex, give us the detail.
Hello everyone, I am Alex, and I hope you're ready to welcome today's very hefty update video, as we will be going a bit faster through it. But as you heard, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is indeed collaborating with FULLMETAL Alchemist. How cool is that?
I'm so excited. I can't stop smiling. But of course, if you haven't heard of FULLMETAL Alchemist, specifically FULLMETAL Alchemist Brotherhood, which is what the collaboration is based on, let me give you a little, too long didn't read section of what this story is about. It is a dark fantasy manga series by Ms. Hiromu Arakawa, and it used to run on this monthly publication in Japan called Shonen Gangan. And it's just a story, it's this epic story about these two brothers that just set out to try to restore everything they have lost because they decided to meddle in alchemist's biggest taboo. So they did something that they weren't supposed to, they lost a lot, and now this is their journey to regain it all back. And it has sold like millions and millions of copies, worldwide. It has 2 different anime series. It has also a movie. I mean, it is a franchise completely beloved by the entire world, and I'm one of those people who loves it, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, when I heard that this was coming to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, I was super excited. I am still super excited because, as you said, it's a great anime, it's a great story with some great characters, great villains, and a little homework for you right now. If you haven't seen it yet, after you finish this video, please go watch it, do yourself a favor. And yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of you excited, just like us, to hear what the development team has in store for us with this update.
Exactly, because we have a whole event planned for you guys. So can you let us know a little bit more about what we can expect?
Of course, starting with the raid event. It's going to be the FULLMETAL Alchemist Brotherhood raid event. The first homunculus.
Oh, I know who that one is. All the homunculus are so scary. I know they're not real, but are they? I don't know. Yeah, just leave it to your imagination.
Nick Cage, yeah. But anyways, this event is going to take place from March 26th to April 8th. It's going to be your usual raid event, so I won't go into the details, but this time, as you complete mission challenges, you will be able to get special event emblems. And of course, as you complete this raid event, you'll collect some materials to be able to craft some event limited equipment. A lot of which you'll be able to see on the screen right here, but I think it's really cool because you get things like State Alchemist Watch, things
from the actual anime, from the actual manga story. And the emblems are also really cute because it has the main character's face like right on it. And I love the Alphonse one. Alphonse is actually my favorite FMA character. So I'm gonna just have that on next to my name like the whole time for the rest of my life.
Sounds good.
All right, and now to the most exciting part of any collaboration that we have is, of course, the new units that we will be getting this time around. And the event starts on the 26th of March, and we're going to start with Edward Elric. 5-star to 7-star, of course, one of the main protagonists of this whole story. And just keep in mind that as I go along, I'm going to mention featured abilities for all of these units, but just note that some of these abilities are actually enabled through other abilities. They're not necessarily like available in the toolkit the whole time, so just putting that disclaimer out there for you guys so that you don't get confused. But let's get on with Edward here.
Let's hear it.
He's, the little mini chibi guy that everybody makes fun of, but he's very, very powerful, and of course he's going to be powerful in FFBE too, because he's going to be a dual-wield physical attacker. He's going to specialize in the Stardust Raid chain, which is the same as Alder King Rain, and he can imbue himself with fire, water, earth, as well as wind elements. And not only can he imbue himself with those elements, he can boost the resistance of those elements for his allies and reduce the same element's resistance for enemies.
Nice.
So he's got a lot of flexibility. He, has support, he has debuff, but he also imbues for himself, which is great. And then we're going to start with the featured abilities here. I'm going to start with Automail Blade first here. Deal partial mitigated damage 2 times, and with a 50% ignore damage on the first one at a 1 times multiplier, and then a 0.5 times with 50% ignored defense for the second one. And this is for all enemies. This is Stardust Raid Chain, okay? Now we're going to the second one, no comparison between us. This name is actually from a line in this series that he yells at the fake priest guy. I think it's like episode 1, episode 2. Go watch it if you haven't already. It's a great anime. This one is used once every 6 turns. It will remove attack, defense, magic, and spirit reductions and boost attack for caster by 250% for 4 turns. And it's going to enable triple alchemy for 4 turns. Now, what is triple alchemy? This is going to enable you to use specific abilities in his kit 3 times in 1 turn. So you have a lot of attack going on. You have the Stardust Raid Chain family that is really, really growing in the game right now. It's meta. And then the self-reductions removal and then the boost of the attack. Excellent, excellent. His Trustmaster and his Super Trustmaster are going to be on the screen for you guys, so I'm not going to go into details about that. But I will say that my favorite one of those is the Super Trustmaster because it looks really, really, really handy. All right, so that is it for Mr. Edward. Now we're going to move on to his little brother, Alphonse, my favorite. He's also a 5-star to 7-star unit. And much like in the story, he's going to be a tank. He's going to be a physical tank who's going to be able to cover all of your allies and also use Provoke to, draw all that damage towards him so that they don't get hit. He can grant himself a lot of barrier. Like he has a lot of barrier potential, lots of extra HP that the bosses can hit you with. And then you don't suffer as much. And he also gains access to double casting if you use his cooldowns and other stuff like that. It's not innate, but a lot of the abilities that he has that can cause damage, which are not too many because he's mainly a tank, actually deal damage in defense scaling. So it's defense scaling damage, and not only that, they are actually Stardust Raid Chain frames. So that means that if you have both Alphonse and Edward in your party, and you're using Edward, Edward's Stardust Raid Chain abilities, you can chain the brothers together. Do you see how they,
It's that synergy.
Always together. That's what family's for. Always together.
Always together, yes.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to now his featured abilities. So the first one is going to be Rush Attack. This is going to damage 1 enemy 2 times. This is both defense scaling. The first time is going to be 0.7 times multiplier. Second time is 6.3 times multiplier. Okay. And it's going to reduce physical damage taken by 30% for 4 turns, as well as activate a barrier of 3,000 HP for 4 turns for self. Now, the damage done here with this ability is Stardust Raid Chain, so keep that in mind when you have your Edward with him in your party. Now, the next one, Body Slam. Parentheses FMA Brotherhood, so we can differentiate it from other body slams already in the game. This one is going to also damage 1 enemy 2 times at a 1.6 times multiplier the first time and 10.4 times multiplier the second time. This is also defense scaling. And activate a 4,000 HP barrier for 4 turns for caster, also Stardust Raid Chain frame. So another ability that you can chain with right there. And the last one we're going to feature today is also Solidifying Steel. This one is a cooldown ability. You can only use it once every 6 turns. You get the chance of temporarily guarding allies against physical damage. The chance is about 80%, and then the damage mitigation can range from 60 to 80% depending. This will last for 4 turns, and then it will enable double taijutsu for 4 turns. This is the ability that enables him to double cast, so you can use 2 abilities in 1 turn. And then reduce damage taken by 45% by allies for 4 turns, which is very, very nice there. All right, well that's little Al. He's ready to just, protect the whole party from all evil. He's got the sweetest, most cat-loving personality I have ever seen. And his Trust Master and Super Trust Master are on the screen for you guys there. So please make sure that you check out all of the details so that you don't miss out on that. Now, we have talked about the main protagonists of the story. Let's talk about the ladies. We have Riza Hawkeye coming to join us. She's going to be a 4 to 6 star unit. She's going to be a dual-wielding attacker who specializes in guns, of course, because she's a military lady. And she can also lightning, do a lot of lightning type damage. Now, her Trust Master is the Hawk's Eye. This is going to be an equipable ability. It will boost MP by 25% and boost attack by 40% when equipped with the gun. So if you have a main unit in your party that uses a lot of guns, this might come in handy for you. And now we have Winry. Winry Rockbell, Ed and Al's childhood friend. She gets angry at them like every 3 seconds, and she's got her trusty wrench that she just throws at them when they're misbehaving. She's going to be a 3 to 5 star unit. She is going to be a buffer that can also debuff at the same time that she's buffing, so that's really, really cool. So don't, discard her just because she's a 3-star unit just yet, okay? But those are the first ones that we're going to see in part 1. We got Ed, we got Al, we got Riza, and we got Winry. So I'm very excited to see them in action.
I know, it's so cool how they fit with their theme too from the anime. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're like us and you want to get your hands on these units as soon as possible, I will let you know how. And that is with the FULLMETAL Alchemist Step Up Summon Part 1, which will also be starting on March 26th. So you can get your hands on these characters as soon as possible. We're going to have 2 step-up summons for Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric. And the first one is going to be a 5-step-up summon. It's going to be 25k, and you'll be able to only do 1 loop, but pickup units you'll be able to get are Edward Elric, Alphonse Elric, Riza Hawkeye, and Winry Rockbell, like just introduced to us. And on step 5, you'll also be able to get a 5-star exchange ticket for Edward Elric, Alphonse Elric. And this ticket can be used to exchange, you can use it to exchange it for one of the featured 5-star units in the ticket exchange.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's for the first step-up summon. And for the second one, it's going to be a 3-step-up summon, this time 12k, and you'll be able to do up to 8 loops with it, and that's also going to be really useful for getting your hands on these characters as well, so make sure to check that out.
Yes, I'm going to be spending a lot of lapis once this collaboration comes out, so I'm going to be looking forward to these step-ups. Don't miss out, guys.
Okay, and now why don't you tell us about the part 2 units?
Yes, the part 2 of these units is going to start on the 30th of March. So this is going to be like the second batch of FMA units that will be joining us in FFBE Global. And because this is a global game and Global gets a few surprises, now and then, we actually have a global original unit for the FMA Brotherhood collaboration, and that is King Bradley. Ooh, the big bad King Bradley. He's so scary. He's got the two-faced thing where he's like smiling and then all of a sudden he wants to kill you. Don't trust him, guys. Don't trust him. But he's going to be, of course, a 5-star to 7-star base, and he's going to be a physical chainer who is going to specialize again in Stardust Ray chain. So he can chain with Ed, he can chain with Alphonse, he can chain with King Aldor King Rain. Why do I keep switching that name? I don't know. But yes, he's also going to have a lot of strength in the lightning department. He can imbue lightning on himself actually once he reaches 7-star evolution, which might come in handy. He also will excel in evasion. So he's going to have really, really high innate evasion as well as a bunch of other units that will cast evasion buffs on him so that he becomes basically untouchable. And if you have seen the anime or have read the manga, then you know how well this fits in with who he is. So as a global original unit, he's going to get a Magnus ability, and this Magnus ability is going to be called Uroboros of Wrath. You can only use it 2 times per battle, but the catch is it's kind of like a cooldown, so you can also only use it once every 5 turns. So you can't be spamming this. You have to use it, every 5 turns.
You gotta, respect the law of equivalent exchange.
Oh,
Can't be spamming.
Grade A+ reference,
Yeah.
gold star.
You can't get something without giving something
Exactly.
equivalent in return.
Exactly. So, what does this ability do? It will consume his own HP, about 51% of his HP, to deal damage at a 20 times multiplier, and then partial mitigated damage at a 20 times multiplier with 50% ignored defense to all enemies. Now, the caster will also become able to evade some physical attacks 10 times, which is really, really high. You know, we've got Aiden, Dr. Aiden, who can self-cast for 20 times, but that's just, you know, a little bit different. But here, 10 times is super, super high. This is going to last for 3 turns, and it's going to also add a chance of countering physical attacks with, you know, just an attack. But the attack is going to be at a 10 times multiplier, so I'm just guessing this is just general damage, and this counter is going to last about 5 turns max. So there you have that. That's his Magnus ability. Now for his other featured abilities, he's got quite a few. We've got the Ultimate Eye, which is what's hiding underneath that eye patch there. You can use this once every 5 turns. It will boost his attack by 250% for 3 turns. It will also add lightning element to his own physical attack for 5 turns, and this will enable him to also evade some physical attacks 3 times for 1 turn, as well as enable supersonic assault for 2 turns. Now, what is supersonic assault? Hold your horses. I'm getting there. Just give me a second. Okay, Philosopher's Stone Core is the next featured ability. You can also use this one only once every 5 turns, but it only becomes available on turn 3, so please note that. Okay, this is also going to boost his own attack by 250% for 3 turns, but it has to consume his own HP to function at about 31% of his HP to damage all enemies at a 10 times multiplier. And then it's going to boost damage of certain abilities, more notably Merciless Barrage. By 2.5 times multiplier and 3 turns. Sorry, I'm starting to, you know, trip over my words. Excuse me.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yes, there is a lot to cover. And then, as a kicker, also enables Supersonic Assault for 4 turns as well. So now, what is this famous Supersonic Assault? This is going to be his version of triple cast. So he's going to be able to use Supersonic Assault to use 3 different abilities in his kit in the same turn. All right, so that is the infamous Viewer King Bradley. You can see his Trust Master and Super Trust Master on the screen there. The Super Trust Master is looking very, very fancy there. And now, you know, save the best for last for maybe some people, because this character may not be like the protagonist, but he is very, very well loved by FMA fans everywhere. And that is going to be Roy Mustang. Now Roy is going to be a 5-star to 7-star base, and he's going to be a mage that specializes in fire damage.
Makes sense.
Yes, and he has the ability to pentacast. However, his pentacast it works in the same way as Regina's would work, or Crown Prince Noxus would work, where you can only use like one ability like one time. You don't get to choose the same ability 5 times, if you know what I mean. But he's basically the mage version of Crown Prince Noctis, or, you know, back in the day of Regina. But what you want to do with the Pentacast is basically you want to choose as many abilities as possible before you make the last choice, which should always be Combustion, because Combustion is the ability that's going to do all of that damage. So basically you want to power up Combustion to the very max, and then make it the 5th ability on the screen, and then just go ham on whatever is in front of you, okay? So featured abilities, Combustion, which I was just noting right now. This is going to deal partial and mitigated fire magic damage to 1 enemy at a 1-time multiplier with 50% ignore spirit. And it's going to boost his LB damage by 150% on the next turn. So make sure that you're casting this before you use your LB, of course. Now, Pentaflame Alchemy. This is going to enable the use of 5 specific abilities in 1 turn. This is what I was mentioning before. So the abilities are specific. You cannot choose the same one 5 times, okay? Turn to Ash. Now this is a global upgraded ability. The damage output of this ability has been upgraded to do a little bit more for you. So it's going to be usable once every 4 turns, reduce fire resistance for all enemies by 120% for 3 turns, which is nice. It's going to boost his own magic by 250% for 3 turns, as well as fill his LB gauge by 25 crystals, and then boost damage of certain abilities, notably Combustion, which will see a boost of, well, not boost, but the damage is going to be 22.5 times multiplier for 1 turn. So you definitely want to cast that and then do combustion after.
Okay.
Okay. Now his limit burst is going to be called Flame Alchemy. Very appropriate, right? And then at a maxed out level for 7-star, you will deal fire damage at a 48 times multiplier, which is pretty high. It's really good. And then reduce fire resistance by 120% for 3 turns for all enemies. So you get a little bit of like that imperil as well as a whole bunch of damage. Just make sure that you know, the last ability that you used the turn before that was combustion, so you get that bit of like LB damage boost. Now, his Trust Master and Super Trust Master. I think you can probably, if you're seeing the visual on the screen right now, you've seen that once or twice in the anime, which is really cool to see all these items come to FFBE. But that is it. That's all that we have as far as units go for FMA collaboration and FFBE. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's super cool because now with part 1 and part 2, we can have like an all Full Metal Alchemist party going on.
Woo! Raise the broom.
I know, let's go. And anyways, I'm sure you'll want to get your hands on these units as well, and so that's why we'll be having the final Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Step Up Summon Part 2, which it's going to be the same format as Step Up Summons in Part 1, but this time starting on March 30th and featuring King Bradley and Roy Mustang instead. So get excited for that.
Very, very excited. Cannot wait to get my hands on all of these amazing, amazing units.
I know. Okay, and of course we will be having our next round of ability awakenings going on, letting you make your units even stronger. And so starting on March 28th, the following units, Crimson, Nagi, Diego, Zolulu, and Delulu will each be seeing new ability awakenings, so get excited for that as well.
Yeah, show some love for those FFB original units. You know, we have to show our pride as the FFB franchise as well. So make sure that you are not missing out on what they can do once they get their ability awakenings.
Q&A corner!
Yay!
Thank you all for your questions. So I will answer the most asked questions.
All right, and we have 2 questions for you today. So let's start with the first question, which is, when are we getting expert missions?
Soon.
Oh no. Oh no.
Jokes aside, so we are finally able to provide an update on the long-awaited expert mission. So, barring any major setbacks, expert missions are currently scheduled on April 16th.
Yes!
Yeah.
All right, well, for those of you who are not actually aware about what expert missions are, they're very simply put, just, you know, kind of like the daily quests that we have available that you guys can clear for rewards. These are specifically cleared by the number of 7-stars that you have evolved. So every time that you evolve a 7-star, you get, you know, a tally count, like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and depending on that, you get rewards based on that. Now, I know that a lot of us have already evolved a ton of 7-star units by this point. Do not worry.
Yeah.
All of that counts. All of it counts retroactively. So the moment that they become available on April 16th, God willing, all of those numbers will be tallied up for you, and then you will be able to see how many you have still left to maybe evolve, so that you can claim all of the rewards. Very excited.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time for question number 2.
Okay.
Yes, question number 2 here is going to be, why haven't we seen any Chamber of the Vengeful since last October?
Yeah. Around of the last year, we introduced the high difficulty event, Defiance of Fate. We are extremely happy that the event was received well among the community. Unfortunately, the new content consumed a lot of more development resources than we expected, and ultimately provide us from releasing a new Chamber of Vengeful. While we will do our best to release more new Chamber of Vengeful, depending on the development status of the other new content that we are working on. It may not always be possible to do. However, we are working on variety of exciting new content that we are hoping to share with you in the future. So please stay tuned.
All right, great. So I'm glad to hear, at least to know what it is that happened. I know that a lot of players have been looking forward to this type of content, but we are so busy. I promise you, we are so busy with so many things right now that it's just really hard to allocate time for certain things nowadays. But don't despair, because we have some new campaigns coming up really, really soon for you guys. I'm sure that they're going to show on screen in just a little bit for you, but we've got some exciting stuff coming. For example, in March, not only do we have the FMA Brotherhood collaboration, we have the mission reset going on, the world reset missions going on right now, but in April you can expect the Dark Visions. Dark Visions will be coming. We announced it last year, I believe, in our last big live stream in November. Lots of players are expecting that because it's a very challenging, difficult piece of content. We also have in May more Dark Visions coming on, as well as some few trials also trickled in between. But before I forget, we do have a very special collaboration happening in April. I can't say with what franchise, whether it be a game or anything, but it's going to be very special. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, special. So don't miss out on that one. And again, the rest of them you can see probably on screen. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to all of that to come. And more details on Dark Visions probably will come later on, maybe in one of our later videos. Hopefully there's a lot more information, like specific information to share with you guys. That way you know what to expect for that content. All right, it's about time to end this episode, but it was so exciting learning that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is coming to FFBE. What did you guys think?
We hope everyone is happy with the Full Metal Alchemist information. We have many events, so you can enjoy the Full Metal Alchemist event.
Yes, indeed, with this Full Metal Alchemist collaboration, we're going to have a lot of, and I say a lot, of campaigns going on at the same time, so you can make the most of it. And so, starting with the free daily 10 summon, which is going to be going on as part of the Defiance of Fate Fixed Party Trials milestone rewards. So you'll be able to enjoy that, as well as a number of special Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood bundles that we will be having. And these are geared especially for new users. So if you have a friend, family member, or anyone who you know that is new to the game, maybe you can recommend this to them. And we will also be having a lots of pots bundle for those of you who want to make your units stronger, which lots of pots, that's that's an interesting name, but along with, that's not it. We will also be having the Full Metal Alchemist login bonus, during which if you log in, you'll be able to get your hands on a 4-star Hawkeye for free. And we will also be having the Full Metal Alchemist daily Winry rewards, where you can log in and basically get a free 3-star Winry every single day during the event period, which by the way is going to be from March 26th to April 8th. And last but not least, we will also be having the Half Energy campaign and amazing enhancements. So make sure you make, a lot of you have been waiting for that again, but make sure you make the most of this time and enjoy these campaigns.
Yes, I am absolutely psyched to have this collaboration happening. I'm going to rewatch all of the episodes from FMA Brotherhood. Even though this collaboration is based on FMA Brotherhood, the first anime was also good, but Brotherhood is a little bit closer to the manga. So, I'm a manga purist. I want my anime to, be equivalent exchange with the manga. So I'm very, very excited for this.
So we hope everyone is excited to go on adventure with them.
Yes, I know that I am. I'm extremely excited, and I know that a lot of people have also been looking forward to this collaboration specifically.
So I have another one, one thing.
Oh, okay.
So also we released one of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, on March 25th.
Oh my goodness! Release date!
So we hope you also download and enjoy this game.
Yes, it is part of the ever-expanding universe that is Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. You'll get to see a lot more into the deeper story of the olden days, before there was a reign, before there was a last will. Please show your support and love for War of the Visions. It's a very highly anticipated game title, and 2020 could not get any better. So stay tuned for what's to come, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.